Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I thought that I would come in and say hello and hope you guys are having a great 2020. I hope you're achieving your goals. I hope that you are working to improve life for yourselves and for your families and all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually do a quick microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. If you can hear me and see me, just say yes. Say yes if you can hear me and see me. Hey, Larry B. Hey, Mandrell. Sharayan, TJZ, Blazing Phoenix. What's happening? And what I'm going to do actually is I want to actually process what I want to say here so that we can make sure we all understand each other so we can all get each other. Do me a favor, actually shout out your city. I like to see what city you guys are coming from also. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling this year, not so much. You guys know the Black Royal Wedding happens July 11th. Everybody's invited. It's going to be in Southside Chicago. And in addition to that, the All Black National Convention is going to be in September. We're going to have that. Most likely, it's looking like Medgar Evers College. And so that's the place that we actually decided to host the convention. So that's going to be up in New York. But anyway, let me tell you guys what's going on and why I'm talking to you right now. Lizzo. Okay, now I know some of y'all are like, why you keep talking about Lizzo? Well, because people keep asking me about Lizzo. So if you don't want to hear me talk about Lizzo, then you're certainly welcome to leave-o. You're welcome to get the fuck out-o. You're welcome to go away. And so I don't understand why you would listen to something that you don't want to listen to. Why would you do that? Why waste your time listening to a big mouth like me when you could be like watching, watching Basketball Wives or something, right? Something productive with your life. Go do that instead. So anyway, so Lizzo came up today and I was asked about it. So I thought I would answer it. And you guys know, I don't really care much about talking to the world. I only care about talking to you. Like I don't really care much about what mainstream media thinks because we are the mainstream. We are the mainstream. Intelligent Black people, the space that we're in, we are the mainstream. We represent the future. All that's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen over time as your children and your grandchildren develop wealth building techniques and empire building techniques. They're going to become the billionaires of tomorrow. They're going to become the media moguls of tomorrow. We're taking a blueprint that's even better than what the Jewish community used to obtain disproportionate power within media and banking and all these other industries. And you're going to do the same damn thing with your kids. So at the end of the day, we are the mainstream. We are the future. Type mainstream in the chat if you believe that we are the mainstream. We are progress. We represent what Black people are going to be. I had a great conversation this morning with Dr. Claude Anderson, who, by the way, I had to keep it 100. He's not feeling 100%. But I just told him, I said, man, I said, you can drop the mic right now. I said, because your Breakfast Club interview, Charlemagne the God, I talked to Charlemagne for weeks and weeks about getting Dr. Anderson on. And when it finally happened, I told them both, I said, you guys made Black history. You guys made Black history because you've introduced Black people to something that we do not get from mainstream America or from white America. You're introducing Black people to the idea of power. And power is intoxicating. Once you know what it feels like, you can't go backwards. You can't go back to slavery. Once you know what it's like to feel like a man, you can't go back to being a buffoon. Once you know what it feels like to be strong, you can't go back to being weak. So at the end of the day, I'm feeling very good about being Black. And like Lizzo has a song where she says, I'm feeling good as hell. Well, that's a great song to sing right now because I'm feeling good as hell about the future of the Black community. So in a tribute to Miss Lizzo, to make it 100% abundantly clear that I think she's extremely talented, I want you to type good as hell in the chat. If you're feeling good as hell, type good as hell in the chat because I'm feeling good as hell about Black people and about the future of the Black community. Now, here's what got my attention today. Apparently, Lizzo, you guys know, a lot of you do. If you don't know, I'll just brief you real quick. There was a whole thing, which I didn't know was going to be a thing, but it became a thing, where I just made an observation like I do. I just see things and I notice trends and I pay attention to things. And so I see this lady, I'm with Alicia and we're watching this, one of the stupid ass white people award shows. I can't remember which one. Maybe it's like the MTV Awards, the Grammys, Emmys, the Nimmies, the Monkeys, whatever those stupid award shows are called. And then I see this lady come out and everybody's going crazy. Queen Latifah's in the audience and all the white feminists are jumping up. All the gay people are like, yeah, girl, going crazy. They're loving it. And she had this big inflatable booty on the stage. And so she comes out and she's really, she's big. Lizzo ain't no tiny girl. She knows this. She talks about this. And then she's got these other really big women and they're singing, this song. I don't remember what song it was. I think it was Good as Hell. And it was a really good performance. I was like, okay, she can really sing. But the problem is that sometimes when you're Black, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance can be bliss because you don't see what I see. When you're Black and conscious, being conscious is a double-edged sword. It's almost like when they wake you up out of the Matrix, right? Living in the Matrix. Remember in the movie The Matrix, some of the characters in the Matrix did not want to escape from the Matrix. Some of the characters said, one guy said, look, just put me back in the Matrix and just give me a wonderful life. Make me rich, make me famous. Let me eat steak and caviar every day. I'd rather live in a lie than to actually know the truth, because the truth is not comfortable, right? And the truth is that when I saw Lizzo perform, I said, my God, that is a talented Black woman, but all the talent is being suppressed right now by the monkey dance. It's being suppressed by what is nothing, which is a textbook version of a Mammy Jezebel minstrel show. The Mammy was always the big Black woman. You guys saw when Monique, the comedian actress, came on to my podcast on the Dr. Boyce TV about 2 months ago. And I asked her specifically, I said, why do all these white people love Oprah so much? And she said, because she's a fat Black woman. That's what Monique said. She said because she's a fat Black woman. And so there's a history there. Dr. Claude Anderson broke that down. There's a history of white folks loving the Mammy. So Lizzo, she's not dark skinned. A lot of the Mammies were dark skinned. The stereotypical Mammy's dark skinned, like Aunt Jemima type, but she's a light skinned Mammy. But then there's also the Jezebel stereotype of the Black woman, which is hypersexualized. The hypersexualized stereotype of the Black woman is costly, just the same way the thug nigga stereotype of the Black man is costly to all of us, right? So the thug is costly to us as Black men because everybody thinks you're a thug. I don't know if you're a Black man, if you have situations where people think you're supposed to be ignorant because you're Black, because their favorite rapper is ignorant, right? Well, the same thing happens with the Jezebel stereotype. When you got a Black woman who's being paid by white people to twerk at every available opportunity. This chick, I mean, it's okay to twerk a little bit. I mean, if you like to twerk or twerk for your man or even twerk when you're home by yourself or even twerk, like just at a party, I'm not going to hate on you for that. Twerking's okay. This is not an anti-twerking space. Don't twerk for me when Alicia's around because she might beat your ass. But if you want to twerk, that's okay. But when you're twerking, like she's twerking at church, she's twerking at the daycare, she's twerking at the playground, she's got going to Lakers games with her booty out, just trying to be outrageously sexual in a way that I think is fundamentally problematic and disrespectful for the image of the Black woman around the world. So before that happened, I always sometimes when you know too much, I don't say everything that's on my mind because sometimes I'll be like, I'm really seeing something right now, but I'm not going to share it because Black people ain't ready for this. Black people are going to get mad at me if I bring this up. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to bring this up in about 7 years. In about 7 years, Black people will be ready to hear what I got to say about this particular thing. But in this case, I said, let me do a little survey. I did a little survey. And because I statistics, that's one of my things. I'm pretty good at statistics. And I did a survey of the people that are in our space. These are not typical Black folks. You guys are a little more conscious, a little more intelligent than other people, but I wanted to know what everybody thought. And I said, do you feel that the image of Lizzo helps or hurts the image of Black people, period? Not just the Black woman, but Black people, period. The majority of you, about 75 to 80% of you said, yes, it is a problem. And that let me know, okay, thank God I'm not on an island by myself, because there are so many Negroes who really think that everything's okay as long as you get money. You know what I'm talking about? Like seriously, I'm a financial expert, and I'm the first one to tell you, though, that the reason you want to think about money is so that you don't end up holding yourself for money, right? You think about money so that money doesn't drive all your decisions, because if you get to a point where you become a slave for money, then money will cripple you. Money will not liberate you. It will only further enslave you. So with Lizzo, those are the thoughts that went through my mind. And that's what led me to process out loud. So when I process things out loud on Twitter, I just basically said that now I understand why Lizzo's popular. If you watch her video, I watched her video Good as Hell really closely. I saw a lot of the agenda. Y'all know the agenda, right? I saw a lot of the agenda. I saw some lyrics that almost sounded a little bit man bashing, right? A little bit of man bashing, which the white feminists love that, right? So I said, okay, this is a feminist LGBT slash sort of energy. There was a brother in there that wasn't, there was, a heterosexual male. So she's catching a little bit of everybody, but it was sort of built for a specific demographic. So when I saw the people that said, I love Lizzo, we love Lizzo, I knew exactly who they would be, right? The white feminists love it because the whole brand was built for the white feminists and the LGBT community, not so much for the black community. But black people are interesting because we're just happy for any black person who's getting money. Like there are some black people who will just cheer because white people put him on TV. They don't care. He could be on there in a fucking monkey suit dancing for a piece of chicken. And there are black people who will cheer and will literally hashtag that as black excellence. They will literally, because a black person is on TV, a Klansman could have put them on TV, right? The KKK could have put that person on TV because they are the only black person stupid enough to wear a Klan robe. And there are always Negroes who will say, that's a successful black person, right? Like, am I lying? Am I lying? There are some of us who have never learned the basics of discernment and decency and dignity, the triple D, the discernment, dignity, and decency in terms of how you present yourself, and not presenting yourself in a way where your grandma is going to slap the taste out of your mouth because you're embarrassing the family, right? So you got those black folks who are happy because the Negro's on TV. And then you got those other black people who say, no, I'm not going to take any amount of money if it's going to embarrass my community or embarrass my Big Mama. If Big Mama looks at me on TV and says, girl, what are you doing with your ass out? There's no amount of money you could take for that, right? Or when I went on TV, I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is a personal thing, right? I went on a show one time and there was a rapper. I'm not gonna name the rapper. I'm not gonna name the show because I don't want to pick. I'm not picking any more fights today. But there was a rapper that I was on the show with, and the rapper said something that my father knew I disagreed with. He knew that I thought that was ignorant, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruffle feathers. Because again, sometimes you drop too much consciousness on Negroes that we lose our mind. And my father said, he basically pumped me. He said, don't you ever co-sign on ignorance. Don't you ever co-sign on ignorance. And that hit me hard because I thought, I thought I was some big shit because I was on some big old TV show, but no, he was like, I don't give a fuck what show you're on. You don't carry yourself that way. And so, not everybody has that though. Not all of our people get that. Not all of our people get, a lesson that tells them that money should be more important than certain things, right? And so anyway, so let me just say this. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. Please hit the thumbs up button. Now, some people may say that the whole Lizzo conversation was a woman bashing thing, and absolutely, I was bashing some types of women, just like but at the same time, the problem is that all women are not alike. In fact, I want you to help me out in the chat, ladies. If you're in the chat, and let me ask you this: Lizzo went to a Lakers game with her booty out. Like literally, like hole cut in the ass, saying like, if you want to put something in my butt, it's right here. It's wide, public. Children, if you got children that want to just put their arm in there, they can do that, right? Ladies, if that was your friend, would you, yes or no, would you agree that was, the best choice of a wardrobe for her that day? Like, did you feel good, good as hell? Were you feeling good as hell when you saw a black woman behaving this way? I mean, or did you feel, maybe you felt good as hell? Maybe you felt a little offended. Maybe you didn't care. I don't know. How did you feel? Right? And the reason I asked you this question, I want you to answer me, is because there are people, again, because they have a preconceived agenda, they want to sort of shape things into something that it's not. They want to say, well, because you're not co-signing on Lizzo's foolishness, you must be a woman basher. You must hate women, right? But that's a lot like somebody saying, there's a black man who raped a woman, and because you are asking that black man to be prosecuted for rape, you must be bashing all men. No, you're not. But you're not bashing all men if you hold a rapist accountable, or if a man does something terrible or something that embarrasses the community or whatever, or behaves in an inappropriate way. and you challenge him on his behavior, you're not bashing men, you're bashing that man. You're bashing that behavior. You may not even be bashing him. You may be saying, I love you, but I don't love what you're doing right now. So that's what I would say when it comes to Lizzo is I love Lizzo, actually. I think Lizzo's very talented. Alicia plays the flute too, but she doesn't play the flute like Lizzo does. She looks a little bit better to me when she's twerking, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Alicia don't twerk like that. She's a professor. She twerks with her brain. That's the sexiest part of her body. But I'm sure if she was to try to twerk a little bit while she's playing the flute, that would probably be. I probably enjoy watching that. I didn't enjoy watching Lizzo twerk. It wasn't a good scene. It was kind of scary. But but I love Lizzo, but I don't love the behavior. I might love her as a human being, but I don't love the way that she has allowed herself to be used as a white supremacist Mammy Jezebel minstrel show. And that's what it is. I love the fact that she's happy and that she's feeling good as hell and that she's successful. She deserves that. But I don't love the fact that, that you're also talking about celebrating unhealthy lifestyles, celebrating obesity, which is a serious problem in the Black community. In fact, you could probably go down and look at statistics on how many thousands and thousands of Black people die every year from obesity related ailments. A lot of the reasons that some of y'all might have, tell me yes or no, give me a yes or no if you have a relative who has died from heart disease or some sort of diabetes or some sort of stroke or some sort of heart attack or had some sort of serious physical ailment, some sort of health related issue that came from the fact that they were obese. Give me a yes or no if you've had anybody in your family, you had Big Mama get a foot cut off. Maybe you watched your grandfather just sit around and eat steak and pork chops and whatever, even though he was 400 pounds and he didn't give a shit because he thought that he was going to just live forever. And then you had to watch him die and maybe your family lost all of its wealth. Your family certainly lost a loved one, lost a provider because Black people don't like to confront the truth. We just don't. It's not fun. The truth is not fun. Right? Being honest with ourselves isn't fun. Confronting the problems in our community is not fun. Accountability ain't never fun, right? Accountability kind of sucks, right? It's easier to go through life and to do whatever you want to do and to just sort of live it out, let things happen. And then you can pray and ask Jesus why he punished you or why your life went bad as if you had nothing to do with it. Like, Jesus, why am I broke? Well, maybe the reason you're broke, motherfucker, is because you got a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 paycheck every week and you spent it at the club, or you decided that buying Gucci and Air Jordans was more important than actually saving some money for your family. Like, seriously, like when you go broke, I'm not saying sometimes we go broke because we just ain't got no money, and that's fine. I'm not in any way condemning poverty, but what I am saying is that usually when you go broke, there's a good chance you have something to do with it. It's I know guys that had got like 8 or 9 kids, right? Well, you ever know guys that have like 8 or 9 kids with 5 or 6 women and they can't pay all the child support and then they cry about it and almost like somebody else made those kids. And I'm like, no, I'm sure if you go do a DNA test on the vagina or you go back and you check the records, you were the one that was inside that pussy when the baby was made. So because you were there when the child was made, you also are expected to be there when the bill is paid. If you're there when the baby's made, then you must be there when the bill is paid. Stop acting like somebody else snuck in the vagina and made the baby and then somehow left you with the tab. This didn't happen. That ain't how it went down. So why in the world are you unable to connect your actions with the consequences? Well, maybe the reason you're not able to connect the two is, number one, maybe you weren't taught that, right? A lot of us aren't taught discipline and accountability as children, and I have some empathy for that. But then number two, there's something about victimhood that is liberating and addictive. There's something about claiming the moral high ground of victimhood that sort of cleanses you of any responsibility for the consequences of your choices. Has anybody ever noticed that? Has anybody ever noticed how the victimhood, the victim mentality can become so intoxicating to people that when you challenge the victim mentality, when you say, like they're sitting there, right? And they're like, I'm starving, I'm so hungry because I don't have anything to eat. And they make you feel sorry for them. They tell you, I don't have nothing to eat. And you go to them, you say, well, actually there's some food in the kitchen. You just got to get up and go to the refrigerator and cook it. They might get pissed at you because they're like, damn, like you're actually changing the narrative in front of me. You're making me actually take responsibility for my situation. I don't want to do that. It's easier for me to sit here and starve to death and to blame somebody else for the situation that I'm in. There are people that literally enjoy the idea of constantly being the victim. And I'm not saying that we don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make choices, good and bad. We all have addictions. In case you don't know, there's studies that show that Americans have a sugar addiction. And I'm empathetic to that because I too have a sugar addiction. Most of you in here probably have a sugar addiction because that's the shit that they feed you every day. That's what they do. That's the goal, right? Right. But I think, you know, for us to somehow sit here and cheer on Lizzo as she celebrates an unhealthy lifestyle, you know, to cheer this on and say, you go, girl, way to go. You're perfect just the way you are. And then 10, 20 years later, to act somehow sad, shocked, and surprised and overwhelmed when, you know, Lizzo's laying on the ground dead from a heart attack or getting her foot cut off because, you know, because there's some health issue that she hasn't taken care of. You know, I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can celebrate bad decisions and then somehow act shocked or hurt when the consequences come a knocking. Like Malcolm X said a long time ago, chickens do come home to roost. Whatever you're putting out in the world, whatever you're putting into your life, that's going to come back, and it's going to come back and either reward you or it's going to bite you in the ass. So, you know, when I was analyzing the Lizzo thing, and I feel really bad. I read the article today where they said that Lizzo's quitting Twitter because there's too many trolls, and that's what they were saying, and I felt bad. I said, gosh, I hope I didn't hurt her feelings. I didn't mean to. I don't hate her. I think she's extremely talented, but I don't take back a single word that I said, not one fucking syllable of it, because I think about what I say. I don't just run my mouth. I'm not a dumb person. And but at the same time, sometimes people misinterpret things because you live in a stupid world. You live in a stupid, simple-minded, one-dimensional world where people want to put other people in a box, right? It's like either you love Lizzo and everything's okay and everything's perfect, or you hate her guts and you hate women, and you would probably beat women if you could, Dr. Boy. You probably got women in your basement that you could holding in chains like R. Kelly, and you probably peeing on them and kicking them in the face because you hate women so much. You just hate women, right? Like people can't understand nuances, right? They go to extremes, right? Either you co-sign on all my bullshit or you are my absolute enemy. And I'm not looking for people like that. I don't really even want people like that in my space because I don't have time for that kind of stupidity, because we know that the world is not black and white. We live in shades of gray. So when it goes back to this whole situation, you know, I guess technically, you know, white media define me to be a troll. Maybe that's what I am. I guess if critiquing things or saying things that don't go with what's popular, if that makes you a troll, then fuck it, I'll be a goddamn troll. I don't care. Call me Shrek. But I think at the end of the day, you know, when I look at the whole thing with Lizzo, I kind of feel like this is another example of where white supremacy divides us in an unnecessary way. I would have preferred, here's the deal. If I were Barry Gordy, you know, or a very, very Gordy type of person, I would have signed Lizzo to a deal. I would have made Lizzo the most famous singer in the world if I could, because Lizzo is very talented. She's wonderful at what she does. But what I probably would have done is I would have said, you know, if I care about you, because these white folks don't care nothing about you. They want you to be fat as hell, and they want you to just celebrate that like it's a good thing. But they chew Negroes out, and they chew them up and spit them out every year. So they'll find a new Negro after you die, if you keel over from a heart attack or a stroke. They're going to just find somebody to replace you and keep making their money. But I would probably say, you know, I don't really know if for the sake of the community that we love, if we should be encouraging unhealthy lifestyles, no differently from the way we shouldn't have rappers out encouraging young people to pop mollies, right? When that young kid, Juice WRLD from Chicago, my city, when he died in the airport, 15, 20 miles from my house, he dies in the airport from drug overdoses. I'm sitting here thinking like, this is not surprising at all, because you've got these rappers who should know better, who are 35, 40 years old, encouraging these young boys to go out and get hooked on drugs. So what you need to understand as Black people is that marketing works. That marketing does work. There's a reason why corporations pay rappers and singers lots of money, because they know that People copy what these rappers and what these singers do. They copy what they wear. There's a reason why the Kardashians make $100 million a year just to put on a sweater and take a selfie, because they know that when people see them wearing that sweater in the selfie, they're going to go buy that sweater too. So people pay attention to what their favorite entertainers are doing, and it should be a crime to have entertainers that are encouraging people to do things that are unhealthy. No different from the way it is a crime if a corporation were to run an ad saying everybody go out and smoke more crack, or go get some opioids. Everybody go to the doctor and say, please subscribe me or prescribe me some opioids because I want to feel good tomorrow. I want to feel good as hell. So give me some opioids or whatever you got, OxyContin, whatever all that shit is. And I want to take it every day because I want to feel good as hell. And I ain't worried about no consequences. So at the end of the day, I just really think, that we got to be more critical about this. We got to have more critical analysis. I don't think white media encourages you to be smart. White people enjoy having stupid black people around because stupid black people are the ones that love to give their money away without anything in return. We love to give our votes away without asking for anything. We sort of sit here and we accept any bullshit that they'll put on the air. The Jewish community will never let a hip hop artist go and defame Jews. They would never allow that. They would never allow that. But y'all asses, not y'all, when I say y'all, I'm talking about us. We as a community are so stupid that because a Negro is getting money, we think it's okay for them to go out and teach your children to do all the things that are going to destroy themselves. And we're just happy because he got a check. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're looking for that from me, you're not going to get that. I can't give you that. I can't make myself stupid. I can't make myself blind. I can't make myself ignorant. I can't go from being conscious to unconscious. You can go from being unconscious to conscious, but once you're conscious, you're awake. You can't go back to sleep. It's hard to go back to sleep. So at the end of the day, I think with Lizzo, I think it's unfortunate that the divide has been created. That's what white media does. They love to do divide and conquer. I would have been more than happy to welcome a phone conversation with her, to have a dialogue, to explain to her exactly what I have an issue with. Not with her. I have an issue with this whole circus. So when I look at a circus, I'm not going to blame the elephant or blame the trainer for the structure of the circus. I'm looking at Barnum and Bailey. I'm looking at the company that set the whole infrastructure of the circus up. So Lizzo's performance, that whole environment, it's a circus. I don't want to talk to Lizzo about this. I'd love to actually talk to the son of a bitch who is shaping the environment within which Lizzo operates, who made the rule that said, for all those years that you were singing and performing and playing the flute, we didn't want to sign you when you presented yourself in a way that is a positive reflection of Black people. We only wanted to sign you when you completely committed to the minstrel show. And I'm sorry, Black people, but you are hurt when you have people that look like you who are going on stage doing things like that. It affects all of us. It affects the Black woman. If you want to know why you got R. Kelly types running around your neighborhoods, chasing after little 12-year-old girls, trying to have sex with middle schoolers, it's because some of those middle schoolers grew up listening to Cardi B explain to them how you can deep throat a banana. They've been hearing sexualized lyrics since they were 6. They have been sexualized at an early age. So when the R. Kellys come through the neighborhood, rolling through with big money in their pocket, riding in a Benz, and they say, "Come on over here, girl. I can put Gucci. I can put you in Gucci, and I can make you famous." A lot of these little girls are voluntarily going along with that because they were sexualized at an early age, because the people that they admired the most thought it was okay to go to a Lakers game with their ass out or to talk about how good they are at sex. Do you understand the connection? Stop acting like this is coming out of nowhere. This is not coming out of nowhere. This is all structured and planned from the very beginning. Your daughters are being seen in a sexual way because they're being sexualized by their favorite entertainers. Seriously, I mean, don't you? Does anybody else think it's a little bit weird when you have a woman like Cardi B? And I'm not hating Cardi. This is not anti-Cardi, but even Cardi will agree that she built her career as a stripper. She will agree that she is raunchy as fuck. Cardi B will probably admit that she probably did some hooking. She's probably a prostitute too. I mean, if you're willing to drug and rape men, drug, rape, and rob men, which she's admitted to, by the way, she's admitted to drugging men, robbing them, and setting them up to be raped by transvestites. That is documented. You can find that video. I'm not making this up. This is not an accusation. This is a confession, right? That this is a recitation of a confession right here, right? So think about this. You have this person who is a really disturbed human being. And don't you think it's a little bit of an issue that a lot of your 7-year-old daughters consider her to be a role model? Is that a problem at all? Like, do you think that might be like a little issue, or am I just being old-fashioned and uncool right now? Am I just being a square? Is that what it is? I mean, seriously, maybe y'all need more squares in your community to tell you the truth that your actions have consequences. Action, reaction. You're exposing your children to bullshit, and then you wonder why your kids grow up and they're full of shit. Like, they're doing shitty things because that's what they've been exposed to. That's what media is putting in front of you on a regular basis. When white boys were growing up in the 60s and they saw, they saw guys going to Mars, or not Mars, I'm sorry, the moon. They saw astronauts that looked like them. They saw Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, and, these strong white men, in uniform talking about, we're going to go to the moon, and to go to the moon, you got to work hard, and you got to be a pilot, and you got to be brave, and you got to be strong, and you got to be, you got to just stick to it, right? You don't think there's a connection between kids in the 60s? Do you know how many millions of kids grew up in the 60s and saw men who looked like them doing these brave, intelligent, courageous things, and who then went on and 20 years later were saying, oh, I became an engineer because I wanted to go to space because my hero was Neil Armstrong, right? Or I saw Buzz Aldrin, or I saw so-and-so land on the moon, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Or think about this. Use black folks as an example. How many millions of black kids grew up watching A Different World, and they saw Denise and Sinbad's character and my homeboy who played Ron, Darrell Bell, he's a very good friend of mine. I love Darrell. He's a very good black man. Darrell Bell, who played Ron, Dwayne Wayne's best friend, saw these guys sitting at Hillman's, whatever the school was called, Hillman, and then went on to grow up and want to go to HBCUs. There's a connection between what you see in media as a child and what you choose to do as a grown-up. So I'm not trying to regulate anything in terms of what you do in your house or what you encourage your kids to do. I'm just trying to tell you that a lot of the odds are stacked against you when your children grow up and their greatest hero is a stripper hooker who drugged men and robbed them and has confessed to that. I just really don't think you're going to get a lot of rocket scientists out of that crop. You might get a lot of reality stars, right? You might get some more strippers and prostitutes, but you're not going to get people that are really going to set the trend in terms of black leadership in the 21st century. That's just my 2 cents on it. Call it what you want. You can call it woman bashing if you want, but if you go listen to enough of my videos, you'll hear me talk about the men as well. I spent the whole morning just kind of railing on us as black men and talking about what we got to do to stand up and be honorable in our community. So this is not a gender-based statement. It's not even a critique. It's not even a criticism. It's really more like an analysis designed to help us have insight, where it's almost like you have somebody who's doing something stupid and crazy, and you just literally say to them, look at yourself, look at what you're doing. You're a Christian, like you're about to stab him in the face. Like, Christians don't do that. And then somebody's like, yeah, you're right. I gotta think about that. Remember, you went to medical school. You were going to be a doctor one day, and now you're stabbing somebody in the face. Well, sometimes you need somebody to just kind of say, what are you doing? Right? And that's all I'm saying is I'm saying, black people, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it's up to you to decide how you're going to respond to that. I'm not even here to really tell Lizzo what to do shit. And Lizzo ain't gonna listen to me. Why should she listen to me? Go get your white money, girl. Keep twerking for money. Don't get off Twitter. Like, keep doing your Twitter thing. If you look at the responses, right? I had a few people that liked my tweet, that liked what I said, maybe 20,000 or something, right? Lizzo had like 500,000 people like her tweet. So clearly, the role that I play, as I don't know if I'm the villain, I don't know if I'm something else. The role that I play is not popular amongst white people. So Lizzo wins. You win. Go get your money, do your thing. God bless you. But just know, maybe my job is to do for you what my father did for me. My father, his position with me was, I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm not here to cheer on any bullshit that you do. I'm not here to co-sign on nothing, because I don't need that acceptance. I'm here to tell you that you better not embarrass yourself, and you better not embarrass your family, because you know where we come from, you know who we are, and we will not allow you to undermine that. And that's what I'm basically saying. Is I'm saying, go ahead and get your money and do your thing, twerk it all you want. I don't care. You can go to the Lakers game naked if you want to, but just know that I'm not going to be one of those people cheering when you behave in an inappropriate way, because that's not how we roll as Black people. That's not the best representation of our community. And I think Lizzo gets that. And I think that's why Lizzo's upset. I think she's upset, not because of just me. I think that, yeah, sure, me, I might have sparked a little bit of anger, right? That's what you do when somebody says some shit you don't want to hear. You get a little mad. But like they say, the hit dog always hollers. So I think that she's mad at me. But really, I think deep down, she's probably mad at herself, because I don't believe she's being true to herself. I don't believe that everything that she's doing is a full representation of who she is, or where she comes from, or what her family represents. I bet she's got people in her own family who are saying, come on, like, you can just sing and play the flute and twerk every now and then, but you ain't got to twerk all the time, right? You ain't got to twerk on every talk show, right? Like, seriously. So that's what I think. I think that that's where that's coming from. I think that's her conscience speaking, more so than I'm going to get off Twitter because Dr. Boyce Watkins is out here. Like, who cares what I think? Like I said, 20,000 people liked my tweet. 500,000 liked her tweet. So clearly you can go through your life and ignore people like me forever. And people like me won't matter. But I hope that, your community does matter. And I hope that your conscience matters, because I'm going to tell you, these white folks will chew you up and they will spit you out. And they don't give a single damn about you. And you got a community that loved you long before white people discovered that you actually had talent. And that's what I think. That's what goes through my mind when I think about these entertainers. They kind of forget about the community when they're suddenly popular, but we loved you when nobody else did. And I think that's one of the things that ends up being disappointing when you see people that go off to Hollywood and become really big, is they then start to think Black people don't matter anymore. And I'm just here to say, no, we always matter. We're always going to be here, and we're always going to be consistent no matter what, because we know the kind of messed up world we live in. We live in a world that is built on this crazy white supremacy, where our people are being used, they're being exploited, our community's being shit on a regular basis, and ain't nobody saying nothing about it. So if I got to be the one crazy motherfucker out here who's going to say this shit, then so be it. So be it. If you don't agree with me, don't get mad at me. Challenge what I said. Give me facts. Give me something that's going to make me expand my thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to consider another point of view, but don't just get mad because what I said ain't popular. Fuck popular. Black people need to stop worrying about being liked and start learning how to be powerful. Stop worrying about people, whether or not white folks like you. They ain't never liked you. They hated you since your Black ass got off a slave ship. They hate your damn community. Think about this. Even when you get a Black president, he ain't even going to talk about reparations. When y'all get shot, none of your leaders say anything about it. When the police shoot a Black woman in her house, we're the only ones talking about it. When reparations is the biggest topic of conversation in the entire Black community, we're the only ones talking about it. They don't care nothing about you. I'm not trying to say that they're always bad people, but I'm just trying to say the amount of disrespect that you tolerate as Black people should be fucking insulting. You should be livid over how badly they disrespect you, and they crap all over you, and there's double standards everywhere, and they throw shit out there, images of your community out there to the world that they would never allow. They would never allow those images to be shown of anybody who was Jewish, or they'll get upset about somebody killing a dog before they care about somebody shooting a Black woman. What is wrong with you? I'm not asking what's wrong with them. We know what's wrong with them. I'm talking to you. What is wrong with you? I'm done talking. I ain't got nothing else to say. You guys have a good day. And I saw a lot of comments coming through, and some of y'all agree, some of you don't. But because I had to make this point, I honestly didn't see any of the comments. So if you're a troll, you're kind of wasting your time because you have a right to speak, and I'm just not going to respond to some of it. But anyway, do me a favor, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. And feel free to subscribe to drboycetv.com. That's my YouTube channel, drboycetv.com. And if you want to support the growth of our media platform, we could really use your help. You can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So you guys have a good day, and thank you for hearing me out. And once again, Lizzo, if I hurt your feelings, I apologize. You're always welcome to call me. You should not leave Twitter because of me. But at the same time, I'm gonna hold. I got to stick to my guns. I can't change what I say. The goal is, you got to be consistent, and that's it. I may be an asshole, but I'll be a consistent asshole. So that's what it's gonna be. So you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.